Welcome to the chilling world of true crime, a labyrinth where every corner holds a dark secret and every case is a puzzle box of human behavior. Here, the line between reality and nightmare blurs, where ordinary lives can be shattered in an instant, and the search for truth becomes an obsession. In this labyrinth of deception, we encounter the darkest aspects of humanity, the capacity for violence, the cunning of manipulation, and the chilling allure of secrets. The cases we'll explore are not for the faint of heart. They are stories of betrayal, violence, and the unthinkable, tales that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about human nature. These are not mere stories to be consumed and forgotten. They are stark reminders of the fragility of life and the ever-present potential for darkness to touch even the most seemingly ordinary lives. Prepare to be drawn into the heart of investigations, to sift through evidence alongside detectives, and to confront the unsettling reality that truth is often stranger than fiction. Each case is a journey into the unknown, a descent into the depths of human darkness. We will explore the intricate details of each crime, the meticulous work of investigators, and the profound impact these events have on the victims and their families. But beyond the sensationalism, these stories offer a glimpse into the human psyche, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own capacity for both good and evil. They challenge our perceptions of justice, morality, and the very nature of truth itself. So brace yourself, dear viewer, as we venture into the labyrinth of deception, where nothing is as it seems, and the truth is often the most shocking twist of all. Our first journey into the labyrinth of deception takes us to a quiet suburban neighborhood, where a seemingly happy family becomes entangled in a web of lies and deceit. The case begins with a frantic 911 call, a husband reporting his wife missing. He claims she vanished without a trace, leaving behind their 2 young children and a trail of unanswered questions. The community is in shock, rallying around the distraught husband as the police launch a full-scale investigation. As detectives delve deeper into the case, they uncover a series of inconsistencies in the husband's story. His seemingly perfect alibi begins to crumble under scrutiny, and his demeanor, initially that of a grieving spouse, takes on a more sinister tone. Financial records reveal a motive, a hefty life insurance policy taken out on the missing wife just weeks before her disappearance. The evidence mounts, painting a picture far different from the image of the heartbroken husband portrayed in the media. The investigation takes a dramatic turn when a crucial piece of evidence surfaces: a blood-stained garment hidden in the husband's car. Forensic analysis confirms the blood belongs to his missing wife. The once sympathetic husband is now the prime suspect, his carefully constructed facade of innocence shattered. The community watches in disbelief as the man they thought they knew is arrested and charged with his wife's murder. The trial becomes a media sensation, with the prosecution presenting a compelling case of premeditated murder, driven by greed and deceit. The defense maintains the husband's innocence, but the evidence is overwhelming. The jury delivers a guilty verdict, convicting the husband of murder and sending shockwaves through the community. The case serves as a chilling reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and sometimes the most sinister secrets are hidden in plain sight. Our next case takes us to the heartland of America, where a seemingly idyllic family is torn apart by a shocking act of violence. The story begins with a gruesome discovery: a beloved local farmer found brutally murdered in his own barn. The community is devastated, struggling to comprehend the darkness that has descended upon their peaceful town. As investigators arrive at the scene, they are met with a bloodbath and a profound sense of unease. The investigation initially focuses on potential suspects outside the family: rival farmers, disgruntled employees, or perhaps a random act of violence. However, as days turn into weeks with no leads, detectives begin to suspect that the killer might be someone closer to home. The victim's family, initially cooperative and grief-stricken, becomes increasingly evasive under questioning. Their alibis crumble, and their stories contradict each other, raising red flags for the investigators. The investigation takes a shocking turn when the victim's teenage son confesses to the murder. In a chilling interrogation, the young man reveals a history of abuse at the hands of his father and claims he acted in self-defense. However, further investigation reveals a more sinister plot. The son's girlfriend, a manipulative and troubled young woman, had convinced him to kill his father, promising him freedom and a life together. The trial exposes the depths of manipulation and the devastating consequences of unchecked rage and resentment. The son, portrayed as both a victim and a perpetrator, is ultimately convicted of manslaughter, while his girlfriend is found guilty of first-degree murder. The case serves as a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, even within the supposed sanctity of a family. The scars of this tragedy run deep, leaving the community grappling with the aftermath of a betrayal that shattered their sense of security and trust. Section 4. The Deadly Game, When Obsession Turns Fatal. Our journey into the Labyrinth of Deception now leads us to the cutthroat world of competitive gaming, where a deadly game of obsession and revenge unfolds. The case centers around a popular online game, where players from around the world battle for virtual supremacy. But for one young player, the line between the virtual and real world begins to blur, with fatal consequences. The victim, a rising star in the gaming community, is found dead in his apartment, seemingly the target of a random robbery gone wrong. As detectives delve into the victim's online life, they uncover a tangled web of rivalries, jealousy, and cyberbullying. The victim had recently achieved a significant victory in the game, humiliating a rival player in the process. This rival, known online by a cryptic username, had made numerous threats against the victim, vowing to make him pay for his virtual transgressions. The online community, initially dismissive of the threats as mere trash talk, now faces the horrifying reality that the virtual world had spilled over into real life. The investigation focuses on unmasking the person behind the threatening username. Tracing the digital footprints, investigators uncover a trail leading to a quiet town on the outskirts of the city. There, they find a young man, socially awkward and withdrawn, who had become consumed by the online game and his rivalry with the victim. He had spent countless hours honing his skills, seeking validation and escape in the virtual world. However, his obsession turned deadly when his virtual vendetta morphed into a real-life murder plot. The trial exposes the dark side of online gaming, where anonymity can fuel toxic behavior, and the lines between fantasy and reality become dangerously blurred. The defendant, facing overwhelming evidence of his online threats and the digital trail linking him to the crime scene, is found guilty of murder. The case serves as a chilling reminder of the potential consequences of cyberbullying and the importance of responsible online behavior. The virtual world, once a seemingly harmless escape, had become a breeding ground for obsession and ultimately a stage for murder. Section 5. Behind the Facade, Unmasking a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Our next case takes us into the seemingly respectable world of philanthropy, where a charismatic and well-loved philanthropist hides a dark secret behind his charitable facade. The story begins with a shocking arrest. A prominent figure in the community, known for his generous donations and tireless work for various charities, is accused of embezzling millions of dollars from the very organizations he claimed to support. The community is stunned, struggling to reconcile the image of the benevolent benefactor with the allegations of greed and deceit. As investigators dig deeper into the philanthropist's financial records, they uncover a complex web of shell companies, offshore accounts, and fraudulent transactions. The man who had presented himself as a champion of the less fortunate had been siphoning off funds for years, using the money to finance a lavish lifestyle and maintain his image of wealth and generosity. The investigation reveals a pattern of manipulation and deceit, with the philanthropist using his charm and influence to silence anyone who dared to question his activities. The trial becomes a public spectacle, with former friends and colleagues testifying against the man they once admired. The prosecution paints a picture of a cunning narcissist who used his charitable work as a cover for his own personal gain. The defense attempts to portray him as a flawed but ultimately good man who made some bad decisions. However, the evidence is overwhelming, and the jury finds him guilty on all charges. The case sends shockwaves through the community, shattering the illusion of the philanthropist's altruism and exposing the dark underbelly of power and influence. It serves as a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that even those who seem to be doing good may have ulterior motives. The case also highlights the importance of transparency and accountability, particularly for those in positions of power and trust. The philanthropist's fall from grace is a cautionary tale, reminding us that behind even the most convincing facades, darkness can lurk.